Toby, can I get your phone? Boker Tov, boys. Thomas, good morning. Shavua Tov, Bezrat Hashem. Okay, first of all, I'm so glad we get to learn, always. Doesn't matter what's the deal. Shakoach everyone for coming. A few important things. One, because we're leaving tonight, so for the rest of the week, I'm going to check today with both Rav Shlomo and Rav Gabe Pransky, who Gabe wants to continue with us in Ishbitz. I said I'll check with the guys, so I'll send out some text today, and Rav Shlomo will figure out how to continue some kind of rotation as well, because I'm learning, but learning has to continue, and it will. B'ezrat Hashem, will continue. So that's that for the rest of this week, and we'll pick up B'ezrat Hashem after today, next Sunday. Just another announcement: this Thursday night is the 75th Yortzeit of the Eish Kodesh of the Piasetzner.
This Thursday?
We're going out to the
Eitam. We're doing Eitam.
What time?
9:15.
Amazing. So you know what you mean.
Yeah.
So those that aren't going down to the Eitam, I'm speaking at this massive conference. I don't know what it is. A bunch of different speakers in Hebrew, and just me and Rav Leshem are doing it in English in Yerushalayim somewhere for the 75th Yortzeit in Yerushalayim this Thursday night. So I'll send out information for all of that. And the truth is, I can't believe it's a year ago already that it was the 74th Yortzeit. In your house, we had that all night for the Piasetzner. So that's very special. Anyway, that's this Thursday night. When's Rosh Chodesh? Tuesday? Tuesday and Wednesday. Right, Dalit is Thursday night. Okay. Sababa legamre. So whoever needs pages, we have pages over here. Whoever needs to get them. Nach, you have? You have a sefer. Great.
Bring. More coming to hopefully
Chovas Hatalmidim.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have this amazing zchut to go right back into this beautiful Hagdama of the Sefer Chovas Hatalmidim of the Eish Kodesh of the Piasetzner Rabbi. And what we've been harping on is this pasuk from Kohelet, right? Oh no, from Mishlei. Where's it from? From Mishlei. Chinuch lanar al pi darko, gam ki yaskin liyasur mimena. Each kid is its own world, we all know that, and each kid's own chinuch is its own creation, and it's never ending. The development of that special, the specialty of each child is never ending as well. And we've been trying to understand what it means, gam ki yaskin liyasur mimena, that also when he grows older, he won't stray away from what? So we've been talking about that. What exactly are we hoping, and are we putting into chinuch? What exactly are we hoping for? What are we investing in on a koach level? Morning, champion. What else are we putting in, right? So and today's what I want to do, because it's a pretty long exam. I want to see if we can run through some chomer today to get through as much as we can, because we haven't been able to learn since. No, I'll tell you what's really sad actually. Last time we learned this was 3 weeks ago on a Sunday morning. So needless to say, this should be for the Eloi Neshama of Ariel ben Rav Yonah. And what do we know? We don't know anything. Okay. Lo et emunat achin. We're on the bottom of page tet. Those of you that have the sefer, the bottom of page tet, and those that have the text, it should be from the beginning, right in front of you. What is the Rabbi saying over here? Lo et emunat chinuch hanikret pedagogia. How do you say pedagogia in English?
Pedagogy.
I was kidding. How do you say it in Hebrew? Pedagogia. Lo et emunat chinuch hanikret pedagogia kavanatenu bazel horot. We're not trying to teach you pedagogia, saying that, that's what schools are selling. Whenever a school, like there's a lot of new schools now, their basic thing is like what they're trying to introduce is ish pedagogia mesuyemet. So that's beautiful, important, and good. But the Rebbe is saying it's so much more than just pedagogia. What we're talking about here, ich lishlot besechel hatamid ve'emtzaim lekach. How to control the mind of a student and the means that lead you to it. And even how to widen his inner wisdom regarding the pshat, knowing the pshat of the Torah. He's saying over here, that's not what we're here for. It's not what this sefer is for. And it's not. And he's going to explain in a second. It's not the chiddush of the Baal Shem Tov either. It's not just like how do you make him be able to contain more knowledge, more Torah. We're not looking only for the mind of the student. And these 4 words are awesome. Rak et kol hatalmid. We are looking to get the whole picture. Not to, what does that mean? To get the whole Talmid. Et kol hatalmid. I found this to be so beautiful. We're not looking to figure out how to make him be a better learner or to work on certain midot. You as both a parent or a mechanech, your thing is to figure out what the whole package that's sitting and standing in front of you, day in, day out. Like I feel like every time he says something, he's really like saying, without saying it, are you sure you still want the job? Are you sure you still want? Well, with parenting, it's like you have no choice, right? But with being a mechanech, it's like that comes in handy every few minutes. Like, are you sure you want the gig? Are you sure you want this gig? Rak et kol hatalmid. You have to get the whole student, the whole package. Et hanefesh, et haruach ve'neshama shel hayeled ha'Yisraeli anu mechapsim. We're looking for the soul, for the spirit, for the ruach of this Jewish kid. This is what we're searching for, to search for that ruach, that thing that is all-encompassing, lekashran be'elokei Yisrael, to connect it to the God of Israel, kedei sheyeh Yehudi chared lidvar Hashem, so that he should be a Jew that is chared over here. The context over here is very much obviously that he knows he's in dire need to know what Hashem wants of him. And all of his desires should be towards Hashem, to God. Things that he wants should be to God. Now this doesn't chas v'sholem mean that if the kid wants to go and play soccer, that you say to him, why do you want to do this? And start questioning a 5-year-old why he wants to do this. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about long term, a child growing up, what is he going to end up wanting? Where are his desires, bichlal, generally all about? And that's like, this is an avoda that doesn't end. That doesn't end. Look at us. And we're like okay, we're like okay products. Not okay.
Do it with 30 kids in a class.
Huh?
Now do it with 30 children in a class.
Here we go back again to that. I can't fall into that yet. Give me a few more minutes till I fall into the bashing. Give me a few more minutes. I'm almost there. But it's true. Anyway, let's continue. Every parent and every mechanech knows that their bneihem v'talmidehem aktanim asher lifneihem, their students and their children that are sitting before them, lo yisharu bekatnutam. They're not going to be like this forever, small. We always know this. Like everyone always says, hold on to them tight when they're little, because in a flash they're gonna, And even though it's true, I have no control over that. All I have is what's in front of me right now, right? Even though we all know, like I was, Bina and I, whenever we go to a bat mitzvah, 10 seconds into standing there, I look at Bina and she's crying. Like we did it happen the other night by the Kolma. Why? Because she sees already that our little Tiferet is not so little. She's turning 9, and then bat mitzvah, and like, come on, Sarah, that's off. It's nuts, but it's true. And you have very little control. Actually, you have zero control over time. Question is, what do you have control over?
What you do with the time.
What you do at the time. Absolutely. And I think that's what he's going to really press so hard over here, to look at this hebet, to understand this in a very empowering way, as opposed to a very, I don't know, what do you call it? Nothing I can do. Huh?
Helpless.
Helpless. Mama, what's left for me? Right? Look what he says here. So he says, lo yisharu bi katnutam. They're not going to stay like this forever. You don't want them to stay like this forever either, as much as you think you do. You want them to grow up. You want them to grow, to be nurtured. You want them to discover and explore the world. They're going to grow, they're going to mature, they're going to be older in age. And it could be they're going to grow up and be very big when it comes to, he's not talking about Bnei Akiva here, Torah v'avodah. He's talking about, learning and also having a craft, like having some kind of an art. Mikol makom, however, Yeshnam, there are those, asher tachlitam, hi rak ma sheneged enehem ata. There are those that when they approach parenting or chinuch, all they see is what's in front of them right now. And that's how they approach chinuch. Is this stemming? What's the difference between someone that realizes that there's a plant in process of growth in front of them, as opposed to someone that's just worried about the moment they have right now? What's the difference in approach? Huh? Patience, definitely.
When you see something, force.
What we talk about in
Yeah.
it's all about the size of the snapshots. So
Very cool.
the very small snapshot, you never see any growth, but you have to have that wider frame of reference on it.
Big time. Not everyone has that. That's the thing. Again, there's a big distinction here between parenting and between chinuch. Because in parenting, you have no choice but to man up. You have to have that. But in chinuch, you can choose to not. This does not have to be your art. This does not have to be your miktzah.
This is usually what comes down to why, like the beginning of the Sefer talks about discipline as a, how do you say it? Is discipline the method or a tool?
Right.
And if somebody doesn't have that broad picture, they'll think discipline is
The means to the end.
means the end.
Yeah. So he says like this: Yeshnam asher tachlitam rak ma sheneged enehem ata. There are those that the purpose of what they're involved with is just what's in front of them right now, which Yeshua would mean lack of patience and instantly, because I have to nail this now. It's now or never, right? V'chevan sherak na'arim negnam. So all I have is like kids in front of me. Lachen rak lechanech otam lena'arim tovim matratam. So what do I have to make sure that they are? Good boy chicks. That's what I have to make sure. That or Shena Meidelas, like that's what they used to write. Shena Meidelas. You ever hear that term? Yeah. Shena Meidela. Hope you guys never recalled that, but I'm just saying, if you've heard that, right? Hope he's saying this is very deep. This is Vamish, very deep, and I pray I understand what he's saying. He's saying there are those that when they approach chinuch, all they're trying to make sure is that these second grade boys act like disciplined second grade boys.
We raise great kids, lousy adults.
Say that again?
We raise great kids and lousy adults.
So he's saying there must be a way with the privilege that was given in front of you, that the child that's in front of you, it's true, right now he is a second grader, she's a third grader, whatever it is. This privilege wasn't given to you so you could finish the year to say, as a second grader they did very good. That's not the point. Now that gets tricky when it comes to grades and when you have to learn curriculum, because you need to get them through a curriculum and hopefully in a successful manner. But I don't know, like this is, Hershey, you opened the door, so I'm going to continue with it. Can you imagine if a teacher saw that a student, mamash, failed in the curriculum of the year, but on a midos level and a maturity level, that child was a champion, right? What would be written in their report card? It's usually called an Amalek card. What would be written in an Amalek card? It is. Okay, kids, all self-doubt that's injected in a child is based on what someone says about their it's very dangerous. Mamash. You need some kind of level, no doubt.
And the opposite. Kids think, oh, look, I'm getting an A in school.
It must mean
parents,
you're fine.
You're fine.
It's very bad. So let's go to the kid that in Tzionim, the kid in grades, the kid's shvach. He's not doing good. Well, he tried, or maybe he didn't even try that hard, but some level of maturity some level of respect, some level of I'm part of Am Yisrael was going into him, where's that kid at? How does the mechanech look at that child? That's already, that school has not been created yet.
Well,
You know?
I mean, I'm just trying to think about like, right, again, I don't know yet. My oldest is about to turn 3.
She's about to turn 12, actually. So that's what it's about. Sorry. But sure, we'll go with your, illusions. Continue.
Not anymore. My question would be like, how much is the balance? I mean, and this is, I'm sure we have a lot of safer to complete here, but like, how much is the balance between how we balance it at home and how much is balanced in the school? Like, I know for my wife's family, school was like, okay, go and come back, and then I don't really care about anything else that happened. I know for my family, it's like, no, grades are really important. So it really, I mean, I'm trying to figure out like.
That's not, for us to figure out that is secondary to not what school we're sending the kids, but he's talking about who's choosing to go into Chinuch.
Right.
We all.
When we had kids, we didn't realize it, but yes, that's definitely true. It's like what he's really saying here is, I'll tell you guys that I'm also talking to a mechanech, but I'm really not. I'm talking to all of you that chose to go into Chinuch by bringing children into the world, whether you liked it or not. But I'm not going to pound it on you too hard, because you'll all be completely depressed by the time you finish, each part of this daf. Who just had their hand up, and it wasn't you? Someone else had their Stone up. Yeah.
Even asking the, I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But even asking the question of what's written on the report card is the problem. It's not, if you're only looking at it at the end of the year, you're missing all the other opportunities for, encouragement and doing well and focusing on those middles. If you're only looking at the score at the end of the year, and if that's all the kid is focusing on is the score at the end of the year, then you're missing a lot of the chinuch opportunity and a lot of the praise opportunity to get them to really enhance those.
Yeah. I want to enhance what you're saying and say something that we said a few months ago. By this time in the world of Chassidut, the Eish Kodesh felt that people forgot what the Baal Shem Tov was all about. He forgot the point. Somehow it became a movement, and we all know that the first thing about any movement, once it becomes a movement, it stops moving. And he really felt that what the Baal Shem Tov was all about, by now, how many years has passed? 30, 19, less than 200 years, about 175 years. And he said, by now, people forgot already. They're sending them what's called Chassidish Cheder. But what makes them Chassidish Cheder, other than that, the fact that the Rabbeim have Payas and they have Minhagim of Chassidut. But the heart of the Baal Shem's Chidush in the world, that, you said, was forgotten already here. And he's going to remind everyone in a second what that was all about. Okay, so I'm just repeat again the last few lines just to get us back in track. ישנם אשר מכל מקום, ישנם אשר תכליתם היא רק מה שנגד עיניהם עתה. וכיוון שרק נערים נגדם, לכן רק לחנך אותם לנערים טובים מטרתם. ותורה ויראה רק כערך ילדותם רצונם להכניס אל קרבם ודי להם בזה. What does that mean? Does anyone want to give a crack at that?
Give them as little as you need to, right? Just
As you need to. Now, who decides how much you need to give a child,
it's like
Torah-wise?
like a teacher saying, like, okay, the curriculum says I have to tell them that they should have Emunah and Hashem. Check.
Or even finish Parshat Bereshit, like even actual text, right? So he's saying v'day lahem b'zeh, and you're enough. You're satisfied with that little bit, right? אבל האמת, כי מלמד ואב כזה, חוטא הוא נגד השם ועמו. Wow. He doesn't usually speak this harsh, but he's saying it like, this is why he was the Rabbi of the children. He's saying a melamed and a father like this, he's sinning against Hashem and his Am.
He's doing what?
Sinning.
On the kid as he's.
That's pretty harsh.
I think so, straight up. So I think we have to understand what he's really saying. We know a chet to be like eating, treif or turning on a light on Shabbos, right? He's saying here,
We don't know which of these students is the next Moshe Rabbeinu.
Uh-huh.
And how do you know? And if you don't actualize their potential as their Nachamech, you could be really messing things up for the whole
For the Am, yeah.
Did we say that that's where you miss the mark?
Yeah?
You're going, you think you're going straight, but your calculations are off. So even there, here they have all the reasons in the world to think that what they're doing is important. go back to what Hershey says. We have 30 kids in the class. You think I'm going to devote my whole life to the one kid who I think I can bring out his full potential? I have all these reasons in my mind as a
Right.
mechanic that I can't give everything to every kid.
Right.
And that creates that little swerve in the arrow where it turns into, a massive problem.
Yeah, but this can get messed up even if you have.
Even if you have 3 kids, yeah. It doesn't, I
all
mean,
about the
30
priorities.
makes it harder.
It's all about the priorities the system puts.
Exactly, but it doesn't mean that if you only have 3, problems solved at all.
You could have one.
It could be one-on-one. Exactly. It's more about not the circumstances. It's more about the kavanah of what are you in for? What is this that you took on? Listen, you could do that with. I mean, I have some friends. They're only children, right? I don't think like, oh, their parents nailed it because all they had to figure out was just with them how to create the whole world for them.
Unfortunately,
Huh?
it's the half
Usually it's actually sometimes lehefech. I don't want to say generally speaking. I don't want to say always, right?
I didn't.
But it's very tricky. It's very tricky. Yoni, you have a chiddush here?
A movie based the stereotype, but it's like it's the plot of a Deadpool society. You have the rigid curriculum. This is what we do. This is what we teach. Along comes Robin Williams. Like, guys, there's a world out there that we have to be a part of. And he's trying to address his students this notion of like you're not just in this class to learn what's in this class. You're here to be a citizen of the world.
I think that's based on when Baruch was the teacher in the school of that movie.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
It's pretty good actually. They casted Robin Williams to play it.
That's like, I mean, obviously it's Hollywood it up.
No, that was a very. Out of everything that you or anyone else have seen, it's one of the deeper ones.
Yeah.
Obviously. מכיוון שהמלמד והאב צריכים לדעת. Why is it considered sinning against Hashem and your people? When you're satisfied with just what we've seen until now, מכיוון שהמלמד והאב צריכים לדעת שאת בני השם וגדולי ישראל עליהם לחנך ולגלות. What's their job? Their job is to reveal the next גדולים in Am Yisrael. That's the job. ואת הנערים אשר לפניהם יראו לנשמות גדולות אשר עודן באיבן. And they have to see who's in front of them as tremendously huge neshamas, while they're still, in their infancy, in their younger stages of life. ועליהם להצמיחן ולהפריחן. Your job is to be a gardener. He's going to say it right now. You're a gardener. You're pashut a gardener. Gardener doesn't mean I see something shvach, I'm going to mow the lawn now, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm done with all of that, right? It doesn't make any sense. He's saying, look at this next words. Gananim hem began Hashem. These are gardeners in the garden of Hashem, le'ovda u'leshomra. Where are those 2 words from? Yesterday. The Garden of Eden. Yesterday. Vayanichel Hashem Elokim be'gan Eden et Adam began le'ovda u'leshomra. What does le'ovda mean? So a mechanech might say, no, we got to work them. Le'ovda u'leshomra. We got to preserve what we have. The Baal Shem Tov's whole chiddush was le'ovda. What other word is avodah connected to in our avodat Hashem? Davening. Ezohi avodah shebalev zot tefillah.
If a gardener just showed up and looked at the garden and said, okay, I'm going to put all these things as they appear right now in these spots, in a month that garden could be a disaster.
Correct? Let's stop with the nimshal here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because the
This is what the kid needs at first grade and the 3rd week.
Right.
Because that would make him today.
Nachon.
I think it's a little more than a gardener. I think it's a farmer. Because you have to, when we grew, I used to grow in Gush Katif a long time ago. And when we grew, we needed to make the roots deep so
Right.
they can weather problems.
Right.
Dry, different things. It's more than gardening. It's how are we, for ourselves, for our children, as if you're an educator, for the children, extended children, how do you make the roots deep that when something's shaken, it holds?
It holds.
That-
Yeah.
But it is gardening. It was when I was in kibbutz, my adopted parents my father was a gardener. So
Yeah.
he sent me out to the garden to go do gardening. So he sends me out to this plot outside the Beit Knesset, and I cleaned it up great. I was so proud of myself. He comes back, says, "What did you do?" I said, "What do you mean, what did I do? I left all these beautiful things here, and I tore up all this other stuff." He goes,
Those were plants with roots, and you left the weeds. They'll be here for a week. They'll look great. But all the perennials you tore up. I was a big lesson.
It sounds like my high school experience in Los Angeles. In Eula, there was what's called AGT. You know, did anyone ever have AGT in their, it's Advanced Gemara track, right? Yeah. So because I came from Israel in the middle of high school, they're like, oh, you for sure belong in there, right? Huh? And you know Hebrew, so even though guys, the Gemara's in Aramaic, whatever, it doesn't matter. The nurturing of the people in the garden that wasn't in the Advanced Gemara track was not really, you know, it was like what you said, the pile, whatever, the nebuchs. Shem, no. So he says, like, Baruch, I hear the farming. Trust me, Neil Young was a farmer and everything, but here it's Ganan, it's talking about gardening here. We have to stick to it for a second because we're going to see why the mashal of gardening is dafka very particular here. Gananim hem began Hashem le'ovda u'le'shamra, ve'af im yir'u bahem ne'arim, asher lefi akaratam marei nefesh hem u'midot ra'ot lehem. And even if that gardener sees that the biggest menace, Shovav, shows up in his classroom, right? Or now he's really not saying what he's really saying. You have a beautiful fantasy fairy tale dating with your wife, you get married, and then who shows up? Kid number 1. How did this happen, right? Where did this energy come from, right? This Shovav shows up, or Shoveva shows up out of nowhere. This menace comes out of nowhere. This midot, you have no idea how in the world this happened. So by a parent, it's more intense and freaky. By a mechanech, you just think Hashem hates you by that this is who you gave you. Now you have to work with this kid from 8 to God knows what time every day. So he's saying, even if you see that these ne'arim, that it seems that the bitterness of the soul, they have bad midot. So look what he says here. Yed'u shezet teva shel gar'inei haneshamot uboser hamalachim. This wording is so beautiful. This is the nature of the, how do you say boser though? The you know, when boser hamalachim, how do you say boser in English? Man, Eli?
I don't know.
What? Yuri? Huh?
Innards? Essence?
I'm not sure. Boser hamalachim is like when you plant something, so in the beginning, the rotting of it, I think that's what he's talking about. The beginning rotting of something, where it looks like it's disintegrating. But really, what is it doing? Obviously, it's connecting to its roots in order so that it could have something strong to be based on to grow higher. You need to have what's called in Kabbalah mochin de gadlut. You have to have an expansive mindset to be conscious of that when that's in front of you. Marim hem bechanitartam umelehim asis begadlutam. When they're being placed into the ground, it's covered with mud and bots. But when they sprout forth, they're filled with splendor. En midah now this is important. This is really what the Baal Shem Tov said. En midah v'teva ra'a behechlet beyeled miYisrael. There is no absolute negative trait in any Jewish child. En davar kaze. No such thing. כבר הורונו קדושי ישראל מרן הבעל שם טוב ותלמידיו אחריו זכר צדיקים לברכה, רק שצריכים לדעת איך לשמש בהם ולגדלם. All you need to know, and all you need to really daven on so hard, is how do I raise this? Not how do I be a good father, but how do I do this avodah? How do I become conscious of that's what's in front of me? Is like planting a seed that in the beginning is what it is, but eventually will grow high.
Is this like somewhat attached to what we're learning in Balatanya about where we come from, where Umus Olam come from? Like, meaning he says no such thing as a bad trait. Like, is it meaning because on the Nemius we come from Adam? Like, is it meaning
It's pulling that same context.
Saying, no, he's a Yiddish kid. He's a good.
No, he's not going into the tachlis of like what you're referring to, but yes, absolutely. He's saying in a Yiddish neshama, in a Jewish neshama, in a Jewish soul, you can't say that there's ra behechletiyut, which means absolute bad, absolute evil, absolute darkness.
So, I mean, how do you balance it with this coming part that is, you have to live down one and like, it sounds, I mean, is that because it's on the etzel, it's not the actual essence?
Yes. What's the Yetzer?
And
What?
drive. I don't know what
Yeah, usually we say inclination. I don't know what that word means, but you know, Yetzer, some kind of a passion, some kind of a like you said, it's kind of a drive.
It's ingrained. Inclination is ingrained in you.
He's saying,
It's external.
no, he's saying over here that those things are what you're going to see and they're real. Don't think they're not real. They don't exist. These outside things, in the pneumius of it, that's not there. So that means that there's something much, much more deeper than just saying something. The Yetzer defines the essence of a man. If that's the case, we're all in big trouble.
Right.
All of us. If that's what defined us, אנחנו במצב לא טוב, and none of us have a chance.
You can,
All
you
the
can,
units are bad.
you can also steward. You can also steward me, though, right? In other words, I'm kshei oref, right? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Depends what you learned. Yeah.
Depends what I do. It depends where the Yetzer takes it, right? So I have all these different qualities in me, and I can let the Yetzer turn them into fantastic things, right? Or if the Yetzer oversteps its bounds, I can the same the quality that could be great will bury me, right?
Uh-huh.
And a good teacher will realize how to direct or steward, right? The student.
That's exactly, listen, that's the mashal he brings right now. The mashal. אם יש לפניו תלמיד במידת עקשנות שהיא רעה, is that what you said it?
Okay.
Sure. אם יש לפניו תלמיד במידת עקשנות שהיא רעה, if there's a student before him that has the midah of stubbornness, which is bad, stubbornness, like Eli just pointed out, we're referred to as am kshei oref, stiff-necked people. And we've learned already over the years here in shul, different shiurim, that's our greatest ma'ala as well. That we're so stiff-necked. That no matter what happens to us, we're still stubborn so much that good things will happen to us. We will succeed. The love that Hashem has for us will prevail. We're stubborn about it. So he says here, you take a student has this midah akshanut, stubbornness. Now stubbornness is not a good trait. V'sovel hamelamed mimeno harbeh. And the mechanech, he suffers very much from the fact that this stubborn kid is in his class. והיה כאשר יתגדל ויתקבל עליו עול תורה ועבודת השם. Now this kid grows up and starts receiving upon himself the yoke of Torah and עבודת השם. כמה תהיה כל עבודתו בעקשנות ובמסירות נפש. He will have so much mesirus nefesh with everything that he takes on. Why? Because that stubbornness that's in him, with the right mechanech, can be implemented in the holiest way to use it for something right.
It's called persistence.
But mitzad who?
No.
Right.
Positive.
It's up. Right. It's elevating the terminology. That's true. Persistency. Right. Like if someone says, "Wow, you're such a stubborn Eved Hashem," right? That doesn't sound. That's not. But that's really what we mean over here. Yeah.
There was this really interesting TED talk about this guy who was talking about the education system, and he told a true story about this girl who, when she was younger, she was constantly fidgeting in class and getting out of her seat. And her teacher got very frustrated and told her mother, I don't know what to do with this kid. She can't sit still. So her mother actually took her to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist was interviewing her, and he said, "Hold on, I want to see something." And he left the room for a second, but before he left, he turned on some music. And they went and they looked on a one-way mirror, and they watched the girl in the room, and she was dancing. The psychiatrist turned to the mother and said, "There's nothing wrong with your daughter. She's a dancer. Just get her into some kind of a dance program." This girl enrolled in dance schools throughout her young life and went on to become one of the world's greatest choreographers on Broadway.
Huge.
And he said if the teacher didn't mention to the mother, if the mother didn't know what to do, if they went to a different psychiatrist, the world would lack this wonderful choreography that this woman brought to the world. But Baruch Hashem, he says, thank God that they went to the right people and they were able to nurture this. Because another psychiatrist would have said, "Oh, we'll medicate her and she'll sit quiet."
It's the same exact thing here. It's the same exact thing here.
So you have to find that trait, and instead of saying, "All right, let's see how we can fix that trait," no, let's take that trait turn it
And
into
utilize it.
something great.
Exactly.
Does this apply to all mitos? Are there like Katz? Can you transform Katz or Gaiva like the real?
I think he's actually gonna bring up Kas in a second, but yeah, he's gonna bring it up in a second. That's a very good question. Because we say Kol HaKoes Ki Lo V'Ado V'Ado Zara. It's like there's no room at all in the world for Kas. Can you be koes on Chilul Hashem?
I don't think you, well, the Musar, I don't, you can't be cussed on anything.
I'm not asking about the Musar. I'm talking about what do you feel, huh?
I don't think so.
There's a Kanai, but it's Pinchas.
Was it kas or?
No.
It came from a better place, but it would be...
This is a great talk. It's a great topic.
Was there any ego to it when you did it?
Did you guys ever read Ari Fold's piece after Rabbi Raziel Shevach was killed?
It was published.
It was published. I printed it over Shabbos, showed it to my whole family. Yoni, did you see it?
That's it.
It is Menachem Yisrael. It's one of those things that children will be studying in schools. I guarantee it because I'm going to make sure that happens. I'm MS. Like that's I'm working right now, Louis. What we're talking about. I'm putting together a whole series of something. I think it's like something I'm very, very connected to. In response to what happened, and it's all based on everything he said. So there's one piece you have to read, and it's his response about how angry he is, how livid he is to what we talk about all the time, the non-response response that Am Yisrael has, the leaders of Am Yisrael have, after 6 more orphans are made into orphans into the world. So, can you have kas? If you're not ko'es, but the kas has to lead you to action. Meaning, if the kas is there just to remain in kas, there's probably no inyan there of kas, of a tikkun, of a good measure of it. But if the kas leads you to be like, I'm standing up like a lion for what I believe, then the kas gets transformed into ma'asim right away.
But is the Mida itself then a good Mida? Have you transformed the Kaas itself into a good thing? Or is that Mida itself still negative?
People that went through Auschwitz, right? What did they do when they came to Eretz Yisrael with all that kas that they did? You and I are sitting here because people had kas. They didn't. Can you imagine if they would have ignored their kas? Like, whatever, like, it just had to be. Now let's just try to get a country together. It would have never happened. So we see that the people have transformed their midot of kas when they keep the eye on the prize. But for the sake of kas, never. That's maybe what it means when it says kol hakoes kilo avodah zara. I mean, if the kas is the end game, there's no tikkun to that midah. I don't think. Let's see how he says it over here. Lokal. First of all, he ends off about the persistent child. And he says, lokal velo hapachpach yiyeh. Eventually, this stubborn kid, when he was stubborn, when he grows up and he gets into the world of Torah and mitzvahs, because some mechanech was able to turn on his soul to what he needed to see in the world of Torah, he's saying he won't be hafachpach. That means wishy-washy. Like, he'll be, this is what it is. His emunah will be unshaken. He will be a committed yidl, a committed Jew. Mikevan she'ish Yisrael kfi shekav'u Chazal hu rak im ma'amid dvarim kachoma. He's saying because it says in the Midrash Rabbah that a Jew is someone that erects things firm like a wall. Like when you take on something, you need to have that inyan of persistency to say, I'm never moving from this. This is my truth. I don't sway from it. Now, this midah that we're talking about right now is something that is mamash fallen in Am Yisrael. To say, this is my ikronot, my principles. This is what they are. And no one can move me from it. Like you said it. No one was able to tell Ari a thing. Right? You couldn't tell him a thing. Nothing. Some people could say, oh, he's so close-minded, this and that. We have this machla of being open-minded till our mind falls out of our head. We're so open-minded. The persistency of this midah, the tikkun of it is just incredible. So the Midrash says, until you establish and erect things like a choma, you're not considered really a yid. This is what makes you a Jew.
So if somebody takes, let's say this child as a fidgety child, or that's their midah that they're quote unquote struggling with, and then the chanech keeps trying to just snatch it out of them.
Listen, this is Musar for me. I'll tell you guys why. We all. This is like group therapy. Us, Zuckerberg, and a few hundred, right? our Tiferet has this midah. She does. But you know where else I see it? And Bina and I are blown away by it. She has never, even if she's mamish, like sleeping on my shoulder, I bring her from a car. She's so stubborn, persistent. She's never not kissed the mezuzah when walking, even if she walks in and out of a room 5 times because she forgets something here. It's so in her, and I see it. It is that midah. It's so in her. Somehow, her neshama has this inyan when they take on something. It's this is what it's going to be. It doesn't matter. It also works with when you with other inyanim that you want to work through when it's not as easy. But for instance, the mezuzah, she's so kshe oref about it. Like last night, we came back late from Yerushalayim. She piggyback because we didn't want to even have to wake up too much. And then I realized, no, she's going to wake up because she's going to realize she's walking through a door. And that happened. It happened. So it's this is where you have to realize what you have to work with. It's a lot of, listen, without davening over this, en sikui. There's no chance. There's no chance of figuring out how to nurture these midot. ובכל ענייני היהדות יהיה חזק כחומה בצורה. And a person like this, regarding all matters of Yiddishkeit, you must be persistent like a choma betzura, like a, how do you say, like a fortress. Yeah. V'lachen.
But your persistence in getting her to her bed was disrupted by her persistence of the moment. So your long-term goal of getting everybody to sleep, was stopped by the moment, which I think you need to find a perfect balance, that parallel pruning the plant and helping it go towards the light. You don't wait till it starts to wilt before you water to get to the potential.
Shetulim beveit Hashem bechatzrot Elokeinu yavrinchu. This is what's called the garden of God. This is mamash gananut. Like this is knowing exactly what you're saying. The timing of these things are crucial.
It really blows me away when you say that, because it's so hard to instill that at any of us. I'm older, you're younger, but still, as we're already reached a certain age, it's so hard to instill that intellectually in the guy.
He's going to address this. That why, even though we know this to be a truth, can any of us say that we could nail this down? Like I could know exactly. This is like, but once you get into a rhythm of this is my hashkafa of parenting, this is my hashkafa of chinuch, these things begin to seep in. They really do. From looking at it on the outside, it's like I have no chance. But when this becomes my hashkafa and my davening and my prayer towards this kind of a world of chinuch, it does start to seep in, just not consciously. V'lachen, אם יראה המלמד או האב תלמיד במידת הכעס, נוח, הן אמת שהנער המשתמש עתה במידת כעסו רע עד מאוד. It's true. This kid takes a whack at another kid in class. That's a bad thing. Don't start being there and be like, we learned from the Piasetzner that there's something very holy going on here, so let's observe the manner in which he whacks the other student. Let's see what he says. Let's see what he says. אבל האם בשביל זה יכולים להחליט עליו לומר כי שורש פורה ראש ולענה הוא? בו, meaning, can we say because the midah of kas is in him, that this one is out here to demolish the world and to be self-destructive? וכי גרוע הוא בטבעו? And that in his teva, this is a bad kid? We think that we still suffer from a world that uses a terminology. That's a bad kid. That's a wild kid. No. It's a beautiful kid that has some issues with being wild. It's all in the words. Mamash. האם לא נשחק אנו על שוטה ששמע את תהילת האתרוג וחטף לאכול זרע גרעין או בוסר ממנו? Will we not laugh at the fool who heard about how gewaldig an etrog is, so he grabbed one and started eating it? Because he heard how great an etrog is, and he starts to eat the zera garin, the seed of it, and by the way, Binyamin Simon, who's learning with us, he just wrote over here, boser means unripe. That's the word, right? the unripeness of it. Veitzak v'yolel alav lemor primar ve'arsiu ha'etrog. And this guy is going to start to be like, what is this? I thought this etrog was made. This is a poisonous fruit. This is horrible fruit. Halo kulanu nischak alav. What are we going to tell him? Kulanu nischak alav. We're all going to laugh at him. Ve'nomar lo hamten. Wait a second. Kasher yitbashel apri begomro. Wait until the fruit is ripe. Meaning, literally, like Avi Hirschberg just came over the other day, brought me the most incredible, you got it? The etrog jam? The best etrog jam in the world. I'm looking at it, wow, amazing totza'ah after you know what to do with it, right? Not everyone's a Hirschberg. We strive to be. Take the etrog in its original form. So are we not going to, what are we going to do with a guy that starts freaking out about, what are we going to say about him? But that's what we do with Chinuch all the time.
I've been telling stories just to prepare Chaya for the trip.
Yeah?
Like I heard some stories about the Berditcher this past week, so I was feeding them to her so she understands, like, can you imagine?
He's a great example for all of this.
His excitement for Avodas Hashem. Picture having him as your student.
Oh no, it'd be hell.
Whoa.
It'd be hell.
Sit down.
Right?
Sit in the chair.
Lady.
Lady, go to the corner.
Lady, go to the corner. I told you to stop. It's time to daven now. It's not time to do somersaults across the basement.
Right. Very good. It's very good.
Where would it be?
If you have to think of it backwards, it's true. Imagine like the Baal Shem as a student, little Yisrael, right? It's time to play now. And he's sitting there just, he needs the serenity, the calm, right? But if a Mechanech forced him to play with the other kids, take the Vilna Gaon as a little child, right? Take the Vilna Gaon. It's now we go to the garden, right? Now it's playing time, right? But I have 4 blood left. No, that's not what kids your age do, right? No, go say, Mama, yeah. So he says, Hamten kasher yitbashel hapri begomro. A mechanech and the parent need to have this line in their hearts. On the one hand, you have to deal with the now, but you have to always remember that b'chatzos Elokeinu yafrichu. You provide the scenery. That your house you're raising them in is a chatzer Hashem. You're all gardeners. The scenery is chatzer Hashem. It's the backyard of Hashem. Shetulim beveit Hashem. They're planted in the garden of Hashem. B'chatzrot Elokeinu yafrichu. And the growth, the sprouting, the ripeness will be trust the process. Trust the process. Trust it. But you must make sure that you've created the process, that you are part, that you've signed up as a mechanech, as a parent, to the fact that Yiddishkeit and each kid is its own world is a very real thing. Ve'az tivakach kama matoku. And then you will be completely blown away when you get the awareness of how sweet it is what you thought was poisonous because it was unripe. You need to have them both simultaneously taking place in your heart. Now the continuation of this pticha will be exactly when to know, how to do this both together, this avoda. That's why we have to wait till next Sunday, because the women's shiur now. So we have to stop now. But we'll stop over here, and I think what would be very good, we have the English translation here, to do some chazar from the beginning on this. It's very, very good, very helpful. And daven for us, we should have a successful, safe, and peaceful trip.
Amen.
Bezrat Hashem.
You have to be a little